Guys, I'm gonna put this at the beginning of the video. There's a lot of audio issues, video issues, lagging issues, all to do with Hussein throughout this video. So the audio goes weird. He leaves for a bit, and it's just me and Ben. He's just sorting it out. So that happens throughout this video. Just a disclaimer. Yo, guys, welcome back to the Touchliner, episode 8. This is our third time trying to start this episode. So many technical difficulties, but we're here. My co-host Hussein is here, and we're joined by Ben Chapman once again. How are we doing for the third time?
Very good. Very excited to get into some debates. All right,
Yes.
I've got a couple of problems with some people in this call over
I'm
some.
canceling the first argument. I'm canceling that.
You've
I'm getting really
decided
annoyed.
you
Yeah,
you don't
I'm
want to
getting
go. You
annoyed.
don't want to go
I'm
over it.
actually, wallahi, I'm getting annoyed. No, I'm getting annoyed. I don't want to talk
Guys
about that.
that are confused, we basically were debating who's the biggest club in the world. Ben and me are saying Man United, Hussein saying Real Madrid, and Hussein doesn't want to
All
have the
time.
conversation anymore. He doesn't want to have
No, no,
the.
no. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
We're gonna
I
move.
can't argue with the wall. I can't argue with the wall, guys. Let's talk about something else.
We're gonna move
Okay,
on. We're gonna
we
move
can go.
on
Yeah,
to the
we'll move
Premier
on.
League. Premier League. We'll
Uh,
go to
Okay.
right Arsenal. They won 5-0 today. Great win for them, but they did lose 2-0 against PSV midweek in the Europa League, and that loss followed a draw to Southampton, I believe. So everyone was saying, that's it. This is where the cracks start to show. Arsenal really show their lack of depth, show that they're not going to make it far in the title challenge this season. What do you guys think about that argument?
I don't. I don't consider beating the worst team in the league 5-0 like a statement.
Mm,
Being like, listen, oh no, we're still in the title race. I don't consider that. I think like Manchester United and Newcastle would both beat Nottingham Forest comfortably,
mm,
like very comfortably, in fact. They are statistically the worst team in the league, so it doesn't really. I don't really care about it. I still want to see Arsenal against like a again. Well, I mean, when they came up against pressure against United, we all saw what happened.
mm.
When and who do they still need to face in the top five? They beat Spurs.
They
Who
played
do
us
they
and they
need?
lost. Did they play? I don't think they played anyone else. Did they play
They
Liverpool?
City.
They beat Liverpool,
Uh,
didn't they? Arsenal.
They
Yeah,
beat Liverpool.
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
they play Liverpool. They need to play City and Chelsea still.
yeah,
Chelsea, look, Chelsea. We can talk about Chelsea, man.
yeah. No, no. We'll talk about them in a bit. We'll talk about them in a bit. They're
Yeah. Hold
they're
on. So
they're a shambles.
I think. Sorry, just to make my point. I said this in the first take of the episode, so guys, bear with me if I'm just repeating it again. But yeah, so the 2-0 loss to PSV kind of gave me flashbacks of Milan's 2 seasons ago when we finished second because we were sailing through the league, we were doing so well, and then um we were winter champions and everything, undefeated in 20 odd games, and suddenly we got thrashed 3-0 by Lille in the Europa League. And that was kind of the game where things started to change. We still did well. We still finished second. We still had a great season in comparison to the prior season, but that was when we went from an unbeatable team to a team that definitely has flaws that have been exposed, right? And we still bounced back after that game. We still came back and won the next and whatnot. But then 3 weeks after or 2 weeks after, we had Inter and we lost to Inter. Um, Point being, I'm starting to see flashbacks of that with Arsenal. They had a terrible game against PSV. They lost 2-0. They had a very, very good comeback game against Nottingham. Here's the thing. Nottingham did beat Liverpool 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I'm not sure, but they did beat Liverpool. So you kind of have to give them credibility for beating Nottingham 5-0. Whether they're the worst team in the league or not, they did beat Liverpool. So you got to put something there for them. Secondly, I do agree that this is not where you say that, oh, they really did bounce back, because they did. At the end of the day, as much credit as you can give Nottingham, they only beat Nottingham. I
Mm,
believe their next game is Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken. And if so, that's about just like with the Milan season. That's about same timing as when we got beat by Inter and we started to um, lose our winning streaks and start losing games and dropping points. So if I were to have to make a prediction, I would predict that Chelsea will bounce back from their 4-1 defeat and beat Arsenal in their next matchup.
Fair enough.
But I do stand by my statement that Arsenal will have a good season. They will finish in the top four, potentially even in the top three. But they're not gonna be the almighty Arsenal that they were for the first couple of games of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm.
I think I do agree with that. I don't think they've got the depth to go far, but still probably one of the best teams in England on form
It's the
right now.
Liverpool team though that's leaking goals, like, and that's what I would say. That you remember how Josh we talked about small clubs going to play big clubs and how they would sort of park the bus a little bit and try and just scrape at any points they can. They still put, I think it was 2 goals past, you know, Liverpool, and it just shows how sort of leaky and flimsy their defense can be at times. I mean, that home record's gone now. It's Anfield is no longer this fortress that everybody says it was. You know, like the atmosphere it's poor now. That's what all the fans are saying. You know, I saw multiple videos on social media today being like from Scousers, from Liverpool fans being like, "What has happened to Anfield? The atmosphere is now just it's awful." I feel like this is the steady but soon decline of Liverpool.
Yeah, no, it's a good segue into Liverpool. To be fair, they won against Ajax midweek, which is pretty good, but they followed that up with a 2-1 loss at home at Anfield to Leeds, who were in the relegation zone as the game started. Van Dijk's unbeaten league Anfield record shattered. Liverpool once again spineless. Nunez
He had
once
a manager
again missing
celebrating. He
chances.
was like this
Yeah,
when he was walking away. I don't know what that guy's name is. Marsh, is that his name? He
it
was
was
like,
Yeah, the
after they won.
American manager, honestly, Jurgen Klopp lost for answers. Nunez missing 2 or 3 decent chances. I'd say one of them was a very good chance, but that's your favorite player, Hussein. So what you watched the game, I think. What do you think about that?
I managed to catch the second half.
Your
Look,
audio's gone again.
you
God,
not here?
no,
No, your audio's there, but it uh just unplug it.
crackling. Why is
Okay,
he making that face?
see?
Thing.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why it sounds like roboty.
Hold on.
Oh, he's gone. Where's he going? Drum roll. I'm assuming that this is going to get cut out.
This internet, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut
Maybe,
it. It's fine. I'll cut
maybe
it.
we should just do it without her saying.
It's a good
I
idea.
mean, like, if you can't get his Wi-Fi, and you have to do it tonight because you always post it tomorrow.
Now, to be fair, I could post it on the Tuesday, but the thing is now because I have to edit it, it's good to do it today. I'll edit it tomorrow.
Speak.
Saying
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yes,
Okay. So yeah, as
Okay.
I was saying, sorry. I did manage to catch the second half, but it's just a recurring pattern that I've been seeing in Liverpool, and it's just they, in terms of output of play, are not really lacking that much. There are two aspects which are huge, and the reason why they're doing so bad is they're not finishing their chances. Number one, and number two is they have a very leaky defense. It reminds me of when or we play a new FIFA. We know how to pass. We know how to get upfield. Every time a new FIFA comes out, we are so terrible at defending, and we just leak goals because as good as we are at the game, we don't grasp the new defending tactics. So we always spend the first God knows how many games just letting goals in left and right. And it's kind of the same thing that I'm seeing from Liverpool. Like the midfield is still working. Salah is still working, right? Nunez has very weak end product. Yes, okay, he has 6 goals. I know I was talking good about him in the last episode, and I'll still say 6 goals is in as many minutes as he had. He is not having a bad season because he is a striker and he does have like more than 1 goal every 2 games, right? So I I think he needs as a striker needs some very fine tuning. He needs a season, maybe even 2, before he can become, you know, one of the guys. But I think at this point You need to you need to you need to cut off the arm to save the body. Somebody needs to go.
Yeah,
Get rid of
I
Klopp,
think
maybe.
so.
Get rid of Trent. I don't know. Get rid of Joe
I think
Gomez. I
I
don't know.
think getting
Somebody
rid
needs to
of
go.
Klopp could be too extreme of a move. I think that
Not
could be like
necessarily.
I just think it's like not the right time to get rid of Klopp. I think there are some players in that squad that aren't good enough to be there anymore, in my opinion.
No, I
I think
agree.
Yes,
Henderson needs to stop playing
but
football and go to a retirement home. I
I
think
still
Trent
think.
should have defenders.
I still believe that. I still think you should know when it's time to move on. And when you sell Mane, and a couple seasons ago you sell Wijnaldum, you sell all these key players. It's time to evolve the team. It's time to get rid of the big players. A good manager knows when to do that. Like
Think
we.
about the man management though. Like think about like it's so obvious that Trent is not like a good defender. I think it's pretty clear to most people now that he's not a good defender. Any like manager who's should be pushing for a top 5 place, like obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you would push him into the midfield, or you would leave him off the pitch. You don't keep him in defense and then make excuses for him. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
I agree.
here, here's my thing. Any manager, look, in 2022, cannot be starting James Milner on any team in
yeah,
life. Right?
exactly.
James Milner had coffee with my dad in the grandparents' lunch the other day. My dad's not even a
What?
grandfather. No, but point being, yeah, Milner is old, man. You're still
Yes.
starting him because what? His loyalty to the club. He's not that good. Okay, he's a hard worker. Yeah, he's got a good engine. He does really well on the bleep test. You're not doing a bleep test. You're playing a 90-minute football match in the Premier League, right? James Milner starting has not done well for you. Neither has Trent starting. Neither has Gomez starting.
Mm.
That
So what
pass.
now? What now? Like you're at the point where your terrible season is a result of two things: your refusal to change your tactics and your refusal to adapt with the changes happening in the Premier League in terms of strategy. And secondly, your refusal to rebuild. Like
Mm.
Josh said, you get rid of Mane, you get rid of Wijnaldum. Who else needs to go before Klopp realizes it's time to make some new
Imagine getting rid
young
of
signings?
Wijnaldum and not getting rid of James Milner. That is crazy to me. Wijnaldum is so good. Like he is
Yeah,
really,
but
really
Wijnaldum
good.
was offload. Wijnaldum was he didn't want to renew, did he?
No, no, no. But it's one of those where he renewed Milner. Like he kept Milner. You don't have to keep Milner. I
You
get that
can bring
he's a
someone in to,
he's a
you know,
utility player, but you can get a better utility player. Milner played with Shearer. I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying that he played with Alan Shearer. This guy has been
did,
around for almost 20 years. It's
yeah.
insane. He
Yeah.
needs to just. It's time to call it a day. It's time. Just
It's
go away,
time.
man.
Go.
Literally, it's time. But
Milner should have retired when Carragher retired, I think.
Do you not think it's like I mean, Josh, obviously we've talked about it before, the man management specifically of, you know, bringing a Joe Linton from a striker and bringing him back into the midfielder position. Do you not think that that is something that that Klopp is lacking, in the sense that he's not risking
yeah,
his his
He's
like
just set in his ways, man. He's set in his
yeah,
ways. He doesn't want to change.
he's not flexible, is he? He doesn't change anything.
it's evident in how much, like, all the excuses he brings out. Like he's not willing to admit that this doesn't work.
I think the excuses are a form of pressure relieving. Like
Leaving
it's
pressure
like what Mourinho does. Like when he
You have
to
to
say
make him come
leave.
back.
the players. Oh man.
Okay, sorry guys. This is just gonna be a recurring theme within the episode. He's just gonna leave and come back like every few minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is kind of like what's happening to Mourinho, or what's happened to Mourinho. Mourinho was the guy that never went a season without winning a trophy. That was him. And then when Mourinho got found out, parking the bus wasn't working too well for him. What did he do? He changed. Just kidding. No, he didn't. And that's why he's managing Roma, and they're not doing too well either. The second Dybala got injured, Roma started going on a downward spiral. Now, I don't know if you know this. If Roma don't win their next Europa League game, they're out.
I saw that.
Because they're tied second
Yeah.
with whatever the name of that team is.
Close
So
group though.
it is a close group, but it shouldn't be a close group. Like Real Betis should not have drawn with Roma in that game. Roma had so many chances to capitalize and win that game. I saw it. I saw it on the day. And anyways, I digress. Point being, Klopp is also one of those managers who's just so stuck in his ways. He does not. He's one of those guys that's like, no, I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do until it works. It's not been working all season. The league has changed. People are attacking you in a different way. People are exploiting the one weakness that you have that you don't want to fix. In Trent, now Joe Gomez is making stupid passes. Like where does it end? What is that? What is the point where your head just switches and thinks, you know what, I need to switch up here?
Yeah.
Or is it because Klopp knows that whatever other strategy he might employ is not going to be nearly as successful as the one he's had for the last 6 seasons, which, by the way, only won in 3 trophies? I'm just saying.
The Liverpool hate train continues. I love it. I love it.
I don't hate Liverpool. I don't hate Liverpool.
I just hate
think Klopp is being ridiculous. I love Mohamed Salah.
I think
No.
I just think Klopp is being
we're
ridiculous.
all just being critical. I mean, they have the potential to still get top 4, I believe, but this is not looking good for them.
Not happening.
It's not
No,
looking
there's
good
class.
for them.
There's enough like quality in that team to make top 5, I think, but not with the current system they've got going on.
Agree.
In my opinion,
Things need to change.
things
But
need to be changed.
we're gonna travel east a bit from Liverpool, and we're gonna go to Manchester United. Woohoo. We beat Sheriff midweek, and we beat West Ham today. I went to both the games, so I saw Ronaldo score against Sheriff. It was a good performance from us. It's one of those. It's a Europa League game. Like it was.
One quick question. I just
Yeah.
want to ask, what was the vibe like when Ronaldo scored? I just want to
Very
know what
good, very good.
Really?
In the stadium, when they said his name at the beginning of the game, you know, they say this team sheet. We're cheering for him. We're always cheering for him. But then obviously there's a few guys like, "Get out, you're finished," in the back, and then everyone's like looking at him like, "Shut up."
Interesting.
He scored. It was a good performance against Sheriff. It's a game you expect him to do well in. It was just boring. They sat back. They put everyone behind the ball. We managed to find a way through. Ronaldo scored finally. He missed a few chances. He could have got a hat trick, but he played better. And even today, I would say Ronaldo plays better. He played a lot better today. He was dropping in when he needed to drop in. He was getting involved in the build-up play. He wasn't really losing the ball. He was trying to score. He didn't have the finishing touch, but he was effective. He was effective today. He didn't feel like he was bringing us down today. Okay.
And went like this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What was he doing?
No.
He just brought his water bottle into the shop for no reason.
No. I realized. Hold on. I realized that every time my hands are in the screen, my face clears up, and then when I take my hands down, I get glare like on my face. So I thought if I this bottle here, that's gonna take away from the glare.
All right. Listen.
But yeah, no, Josh, I agree with everything you said. But before we start talking about European leagues, let's just continue. And let's
I want
take
to
a
talk
little
about United a bit
train.
more.
We're not jumping
Oh
away.
yeah. Let me talk about United a bit more.
Okay, I
This is the
apologize.
Touchliner, of course. Manchester United fan channel.
2 wins. Like that, right? 2 clean sheets. It shows that our defense is getting better. Today against West Ham, we could have drawn or even lost that game in that second half. They came at us, you know. De Gea made a lot of good saves, but Martinez again, one of the best.
Of the
best.
Now that one in the
league.
93rd, that save in the 93rd was beautiful.
Where I was sat, it looked crazy. I was like, "That's going in." But De Gea, he's showing what he can do.
Left out of the Spain squad.
It's
really interesting.
I agree with it though. You know? I agree with it because he can't play with his feet, and the Spanish keeper wants the keeper to play like a third up the pitch. Like if you watch the Euros, he's standing on the center circle pretty much. But it's fine. I don't mind. It means he can stay fit for us. He's huge for us, but we look a lot better. Casemiro has been an amazing signing. Still, revelation. Transformed the team. Same with Eriksen. These midfield signings have been amazing because at the end of the day, as Ben will talk about Newcastle later, but if you have a good defense and you're keeping clean
Yeah, when
sheets,
you sort out that back line,
all you need to do to win is score one, because that's exactly what we did today. Rashford, his 100th goal for United,
100 goal.
huge moment, a flying header. He scored 2 headers now back to back, and if he adds, honestly, if this sticks in his game, he can maybe finally play in that number 9 where he really wants to play. That was the only thing missing from his game before this, but he looks in really good form. He looks confident. Dare I say we get top 4? I think we do get top 4 this season, based if we keep going like this.
I was watching the game with my uncle. He was talking about Anthony. He was like, "Oh, like I can't believe this guy is just showboating. What a stupid skill move. You know, like the infamous move that everyone's talking about."
The spin.
And I just pointed out and I said, "I'm just saying, when Ronaldo first came to United, that's exactly what he was doing. He was doing these stupid, useless, pointless skill moves, and then he got disciplined into becoming the best player of all time." I'm not saying that this is Anthony's path. Like I'm not even like I'm no, but I don't think I think people are reading way too much into the fact that he did this skill move that has made him famous, right? Like that is the move that it's his move. He did it and it didn't work. Okay, so what? He's gonna get disciplined. He's gonna learn. And I said just watch how Anthony's gonna become a very 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 influential player in Man United's history. Boom! 5 seconds later, assist. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I think people are looking at it and they're thinking like they're getting annoyed at is because he does the skill move and then instantly gives the ball away and turns over possession. I think that's what's more annoying. If he had done the skill move and then like kept the ball, I don't think there would have been any bother with it. I think like Manchester United fans probably loved it, but then we're probably like, oh, he's just given away the ball.
That was
Like,
literally my reaction.
yeah, I know that when like Saint Maximan, he did like 10 step overs one time, just like in the exact same spot, and I was loving it. But he didn't give the ball away straight away, so I was happy with it. But Anthony gave the ball straight away, so that's probably why people are just a little bit like up in the air about it.
Skills, man. Like if you have flair, I'd rather he tried that because when it does come off, it'll look amazing. But we missed him today. He didn't play today. I do really think he's effective.
He did play, didn't he? I
He's injured.
wait. Did he not play today?
Talking about
Hey,
the
who assisted
Europa,
Rashford?
the Europa League. Yeah. Oh, dude. That was Ericsson, Christian Ericsson.
Am I stupid?
Yeah.
No. You must be mistaken.
Yeah, you know what? I am mistaken. I was at the game and I was his.
Who was at the game was mistaken.
Anthony got a knock
you
in
must be
training.
mistaken.
He got a
and
knock
my
in training.
application must be
Elanga
mistaken.
started. Elanga
And
started.
the
Anthony
stream
wasn't.
must be mistaken.
He's injured.
Green must be mistaken.
Man, why did I think Anthony was playing and Anthony assisted Rashford? What's wrong with me?
This go
Listen,
midweek.
I can't stand any more of this Manchester United talk. We're gonna have to move on
To a worse
to
United. Worse United.
the best team in Newcastle.
Can I say one thing before we start? It is getting to a point where I've started to feel
He's
annoyed
getting on the
when we
hype
speak about
train.
Newcastle United. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've become very easily irritated by Premier League teams. Like last week, it was Chelsea that I just like reached my limit with, and I feel like I'm reaching my limit with Newcastle as well. I don't care. Like I'm not saying let's not talk about it. Like, let's talk about it, but I can't
This
bring myself to
this is
enjoy.
this is what you call an old head, somebody who's not ready for change. Okay, the change.
No, I love change and I welcome it. It's just okay. You know what it is? I'll be real. So Ben has a private story that I'm on that we're both on, and every single time Newcastle plays, like he posts like 7 TikTok clips. I just have to keep skipping, and it's just some. It's the same guy smoking a cigar with the background of a game. Like I don't care. I don't care. Like okay, it's a good
Listen,
game, good
good
team.
for
But I
you.
don't care
I
about the
don't care.
cigar.
You don't care. I don't care that you don't care. I have been waiting. Listen, I've been waiting 10 years of my life for Newcastle to start performing, and some football fans will just never know the struggles that Newcastle fans specifically have gone through. We get ran through in the media. We had an owner who didn't care about us, used us as a cash grab, and we had people like Rio Ferdinand saying, "Why don't you round up some money in Newcastle to try and buy the club from Mike Ashley?" We have the most ridiculous points being made by pundits in the media talking about Newcastle, and then December of 2021, it all changed. And I will gloat until the day I die for what's happened with Newcastle. But let me move on to the game specifically. I'm getting bored. I'm starting to get bored now talking about Miguel Almiron. It's starting to get it's starting to get silly. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's starting to get ridiculous. And it's not like he's scoring tap-ins, okay? It's not he is scoring banger after banger after banger. It's just like at a certain point you have to look and just be like, is this the same player that we had like for the past 3 or 4 seasons? Or has he been cloned and replaced with the next coming of Messi? I don't know. You can tell me in the comments. But yeah, it was a brilliant performance from the team. Callum Wilson almost got his hat trick, was denied by the woodwork twice. Um, Callum Wilson making a statement to Southgate, who was at the game. I think it showed that he is. I'm going to say the second. If he stays fit, he's the best uh, striker behind Kane.
Yeah, I agree.
I
Head of Ivan Tony.
Yeah,
yeah, and
on form. Yeah,
a lot of Ivan Tony's goals are penalties. I think 4 of his goals this season have been
yeah.
penalties.
He's the penalty taker. Yeah,
But yeah, I think that it was another great performance from Newcastle against a team who are definitely, you know, they've just recently lost, their manager. They've not been performing well. They're probably going to go through a phase of, mixed results, trying to find a bit of an identity because I don't think Villa sort of have an identity of how they play football right now. So I sort of knew going into the game that it was going to be a walkover, but I just didn't realize how much of a walkover it was going to be. And yeah, it was another positive result for us. We moved up to third in the table, and Josh, I think I'm ready to make this statement online so everyone can see for the future. I personally believe that this year Newcastle United are going to place higher than Manchester United.
you know how mad that is.
You know what? It is mad. It is mad to say that, right? But I will say, if you look at the season so far, when it comes to defensive records, when it comes to turnovers, when it comes to XG, when it comes to XG in open play and from set pieces, Newcastle are all superior over Manchester United. The only thing I can say is if the Kevin Keegan curse comes back and Eddie Howe goes into an interview room and says, "Well, I would love it if we beat them and then we finish below them in the league." That's the only way I could see that happening. But with the current form, there's no limit to this Newcastle team.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I can see where your optimism comes from, Ben. Uh, I do think Newcastle. I did make a claim on last week's episode that Newcastle would not surprise me if they came in the top four this season. But to say they'd finish above United, I don't know. I don't know, because your defense is looking good. But the worry for you is this: your attacking options, right? Now, we're going into an unprecedented period now with the World Cup where it's like a mid-season break. So all managers
Mm,
can be like, guys, Newcastle have caught us all off guard. Let's have a look at what they're doing. How do we shut down Almiron? How do we shut down Wilson? How do we shut down Bruno Guimaraes? Because the thing with teams that just come out and surprise everyone is the surprise factor. Now, if it's a whole season, usually between games, managers don't have enough time to focus on these things. It's more, fitness, recovery, get ready for the next game, and then team talks. But if it's like, all right, let's figure out how to beat Newcastle or how to beat these other teams that have surprised us, I think it could cost you. I do think
yeah.
that, but I do think that there is a chance because United also have some trouble up front. We can't score as many goals as we'd like. But similar to you, our defense is becoming very, very solid. We're keeping clean sheets very regularly. I think Martinez has got 6 clean sheets in his last 8 or 9 games. Like
Mm.
when he plays, it feels like we are impenetrable. He's insane. But
Also, one other thing I would say is that this is unprecedented for Newcastle for 15 years. We'll say the Alan Pardew when he placed 5th, but that was sort of like a one-off. I
it's a
don't think
fluke.
anybody really
Yeah,
expected it to happen.
it's a good example.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but I think that this is unprecedented for anybody at the club. I don't think anybody in that club was around when the last time we were pushing for a title race, or a top 4 race, sorry, I should say. And it could be that inexperience that cost us in the end, sort of like we've not done it before. So, man management and dealing with injuries when you have to get crucial points. It's not like a relegation battle where you're fighting to survive. It's sort of like you're fighting against the best teams in the Premier League.
yeah.
Um, and that could cost us in the end because we have no experience in it, and that's one thing I would be worried about. But when it comes to player for player, I believe we make signings in January, and I think player for player we have a very, very strong squad. Manchester United have some, outstanding weaknesses that I would say that Rashford's not exactly in the best form of his life at the moment, not really reliable as of lately as he used to be. I think that Ericsson hit and miss with being injured. That midfield is strong, but you could always. I think you need another midfielder this January. I think that's like the signing that you have to make, and you have to get rid of the lot. Like I don't care how many.
Nah, the thing is, right, I don't like Delo.
Salah
But
has been
but
good.
he's been very good this season. I don't like him, but I think he's been very good this season. I think we need a striker than we need a midfield. I think we can get top 4 with this current midfield, even if 1 or 2 of them get injured. And
I think with Martial
Rashford's
and
coming
Rashford,
into form. Martial's injury prone, but Rashford's slowly coming into form. What do you think, Hussein?
Um, I see the way United are playing, and I do pretty much watch them week in, week out. I am noticing last season I said this time and time and time again. United have no place to. All right, it's something funny.
it's just the way you were sitting made me laugh.
Just tell me to sit up.
Okay,
No, it's
continue,
making me laugh.
continue.
I said it time and time again last season. I watch United play. I don't understand the game plan. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I don't know how they're going to score their goals, and neither do they. Right? This season is completely different. And you see the progression from game 1 to game whatever this game was. I think it was 13 or 12. There's a very apparent plan. There's a very apparent style of play. The passing is crisp. The runs are crisp. The finishing needs work, but it's still early in Ten Hag's career and career with United. And I think the fact that he's progressing at game after game after game, like today's game, I thought personally United had an incredible first half. I didn't really manage to catch the second one very well, but I did see the last couple of minutes where West Ham were pressing and pressing and probably should have scored, and were really saved by United were really saved by De Gea. Um, I think this is just a moment where they shown character at a time where this time last year they didn't have that kind of character. This time last year, United would have blew that lead, and I'm sure of that. Like they definitely, absolutely would have blown that lead. Whereas this time they fought, they clawed, and they scraped their way into the 1-0 win, even though they outplayed them in the first half by miles. The second half was very tough, but they stayed, they stood their ground, and holding a clean sheet with Maguire is no easy feat. So I do think United are progressing in an incredible way. I do think they're going to finish third this season.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to come out and say it. Manchester United will finish third this season, and when they finish third, I'd like whoever watched this to refer back to this episode because they will finish third. I'm sorry, Chelsea are not finishing third. Tottenham are not finishing third. Newcastle are not finishing third. Maybe not even fourth. Um, I think United will finish third behind City and Arsenal.
Okay.
One thing that I wanted to actually say, Josh, is that I saw recently I was watching the kickoff, right? And they were talking about Manchester United's style of play. And they said that this season it sort of feels like a little bit of an identity crisis for United. Still, it feels like it doesn't feel like a Ten Hag
On the
team.
contrary,
It feels like the remnants of an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer team. This is pre the past two wins they've had. So this is a few games ago. But like when you watch that game against Newcastle, Josh, when I watched it, it seemed like a very just mediocre Man United team that had no like. It didn't seem like you had an idea of what you wanted to do with the ball in the first half. Like obviously, second half, like 60 minutes onwards, like there was obviously a clear shift because Newcastle wanted to drop a bit more, soak up the pressure. But I just it didn't seem like an identity is being formed. So I wanted to know over the past few games, do you feel more influence from Ten Hag? Because well, I noticed I was looking at this graph. It analyzes how teams play, how fast they play, how slow they play, how many passes they make. And Manchester United, it says they play sort of slow, like high pass per sequence football. I just wanted to know if that made any sense to you. If that like if you see that in what Ten Hag's trying to do.
I think there's definitely an identity showing. It's clear you can see what he's trying to do, but maybe right now he doesn't have the players that he wants to execute it. You can see that we're trying to build it from the back. You can see us trying to play it out the back. De Gea is not very well equipped to do that. You're trying to play the fullbacks as inverted kind of midfielders, which is really interesting to provide more space for the wingers. But it is a lot of passing because that final pass, you need a striker that's not Ronaldo. I love that guy. Honestly, I'm so happy that I can see him play for my team, but his time is up. He doesn't fit into this team, right? If Martial was fit all the time, perfect. Honestly, you put him up front, we'll probably do even better than we're doing right now. But he's not. He's never been reliable. So we need to find someone that can fit there. But it's true. I mean, even today against West Ham, the amount of times we're just passing it around the box, passing it around the box, pass it back to the
Yeah,
keeper, pass it around the box, back to the keeper. But in the first half, when we were on top, we were on top, but it was only for like 35, 40 minutes. It will come
mm,
with time where we can sustain it, but that second half we were so lost and
yeah,
everyone was getting frustrated. But I do think that, with time, with money, with signings, he will implement his identity into the team. But
right.
anyway,
So when I'm watching Leicester, right, fans they know that their team in the Premier League has an identity. They sit back, they wait, and they blast you on the counter with Madison, with Barnes, with Vardy, with Daka. And when fans don't see that, they start booing. There's like I watched the game they just played against City where they were 1-0 down. Oh no, this was before that City scored. And they were passing around the back, like literally what Manchester United were doing against West Ham, like passing around the back to keeper, then passing around the back to keeper. And fans just started booing because it's not their identity, it's not how they play, and they know that. And I just think Manchester United right now, like you said, they need a striker. They need that end product. And unfortunately, Martial is just not that player. And I wish he was that player, but he's at the moment like he just can't
yeah,
he can't stay fit. Hello, he just can't stay fit. So that's the thing.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with United. But we can move on now to Chelsea, right? Chelsea lost 4-1 to Brighton.
Shout
Uh,
out to
shout
Cry,
out, shout
Cry.
out, shout out, Charlie. 4-1.
I hate Chelsea. Sorry.
Old team and
Jeez.
players. They completely sat him down and gave him a lesson. 4-1,
Yeah.
two own goals, outplayed completely by Brighton. Chelsea fans left. Charlie said they were spineless. He doesn't know what to say. And he said he feels like Arsenal did once Wenger left, which I said it's not that bad yet. Relax.
Ooh. Okay.
But that's Chelsea. They won midweek though against Salzburg, I think. But yeah, what do you guys think
Yeah.
about that loss? What is the implications of these loss of the
I
loss?
think karma always comes and bites back. And when you terrorize the whole planet with absolutely boring play that is like, I feel tortured when I watch Chelsea. So, for being terrorists, I think it's karma that they lost 4-1 to Brighton.
That's fair, man. I think they do play the terrorist style of football.
Terrorist ball, man. No, that's what they call it. Terrorist ball. It's absolutely like.
Is this a real
You
thing?
It
never
is.
heard that?
It is. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
cannot be a real thing. I made this up.
It
Swear to
is.
God.
It is
Nah,
a real.
you guys are pulling my leg.
It's a real
Five at the
thing.
back.
Honestly,
Terrorist
I
football.
call Charlie.
Terrorist.
Yeah, it's like terrorism.
This is not just because I'm Arab.
No.
No.
Okay.
Terrorist ball.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's just like it's the most boring, mundane way of playing football. 5 at the back. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Chelsea, they have the most passes per sequence and the slowest
Yeah,
build up of play.
sounds
So
about right.
it's
Oh, can I say one thing?
What?
I think UEFA has had many lapses of judgment, and they've done many stupid and wrong things. And a lot of decisions that they have made have been extremely questionable. However, I think in the history of any prize giving ever in life, putting Jorginho third on that list was
Yeah.
the absolute worst decision anyone could have ever made. Jorginho is not even average. He's not even average. He doesn't contribute to any team.
is this
What? He
the
doesn't.
Ballon
He's a good
d'Or?
penalty
What is
taker.
this?
Yeah, he came third for the Ballon d'Or
Yeah,
last year.
that
Like
was
how can you be third? You don't contribute to the Italian team. You don't contribute to Chelsea. I've tried watching him.
he's a
Like
penalty
sometimes I don't
taker.
even watch
That's literally
Chelsea.
all he is.
Who cares about penalty taker?
No, but I'm saying
Sometimes when I
that's
watch
all he
Chelsea.
is.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes when I watch Chelsea, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna look only at Jorginho. I want to see what UEFA saw in him. I can't see it. I can't. Am I blind? I don't know. Alhamdulillah, my eyesight is good. So how come I can't see it? I don't understand how
No, but
a
I
player
don't get it.
can be a starter for a Champions League winning, Euro winning team,
Mm.
third in the Ballon d'Or, with zero real contribution to his club. How?
It's one of
I
the
don't get it.
biggest corruption cases in
Make it make
football.
sense.
I don't know how
Yeah.
they did that. That logic to me is so crazy. Just because he started for the Italian team and he started for Chelsea, then why didn't Chelsea and Italy's second left back Emerson also come like in the top 5 for the?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
What?
just
He
there's
didn't
so many
contribute.
poor decisions from UEFA. Like you can look at like so many over the years. You can look at like Ballon d'Or listings. You can pick players out who shouldn't be there,
That's
or
true.
players that should be there, and it's not like I don't think the way they even tally it is like the right way to do it. It just doesn't make any sense.
For the Ballon d'Or voting, Thogden gets one vote.
Yeah, because he's technically a journalist, a football
It's
journalist.
Thogden.
Thogden is
He's like a YouTuber.
that Bolton supporting guy with the dad is like, it smells like promotion.
Promotion.
Oh, I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
But
He just
anyway,
doesn't-
guys, I think it's about time in the episode where we take a little drive, go to the airport, take a little flight. Oh, where are we? Oh, we're in Milan. What's happening? Milan are losing 2-1 to Torino. And what's also happening? My blood is boiling. And what's also happening? I'm really annoyed. Because
Torino,
Torino, exactly. You go down 2-0 to Torino looking absolutely spineless, looking absolutely heartless. With Leao is having an absolute stinker of a game. He missed 2, maybe 3 sitters. I'm getting really annoyed, and
as Charlie says, overrated.
Yeah.
absolutely not. But it's the 75th. Origi has started. He's yet to score. Why not take him off? They put De Ketelaere on at halftime. What has De Ketelaere done? Nothing. He's scared of the ball. I saw him. So, by the way, I'm watching the game like as we speak. He got the ball between like 3, and he had one option to his left. So you know what he did? He passed it right. Who's on the right? No one. Come on, you were the best player in the Belgian league last season. What are you doing now? You can't even pass the ball. You can't even give one pass. I don't understand. And Now 75th, we need to score 2 goals because realistically, even drawing 2-2 with Torino is embarrassing, and I would be ashamed of that happening. But it doesn't look like we're going to score 2 goals. We got a really scrappy goal when Torino's keeper came out, and the defender slipped right before the keeper got to the ball, and Messias managed to slot it in from like, I don't know, 21 yards out. But it doesn't look like we're going to have any end product to finish the game, to even come back and draw the game. So this is probably going to take us down to third or fourth. Lazio lost 3-1 to Salernitana. It was pretty nice to see. This is now the time where the teams that kind of came out of nowhere and took everyone by surprise, like we said earlier, start to fizzle out a little bit. Lazio have dropped down to fourth, Milan are third because we suck. But if we do manage to come back and draw, we'll stay second on goal difference. And if we do win, we will be second comfortably. Atalanta are currently in second if things stay as the way that they are. They did win 2-0 against Empoli. I have to say, Atalanta are looking like the Atalanta of 3 years ago. Atalanta 3 years ago were a very, very good team. We had to fight them to the very last breath to come out with our second place 2 seasons ago. And it's looking like, by the way, last season, Atalanta absolutely disappeared. And they weren't even, they didn't even make European football, if I'm not mistaken. So now they're back in second, under a new system with new players. And it's nice to see. Ilicic, without any like contribution to that. Papu Gomez gone. Atalanta still in second. It's kind of nice. It's a little like Napoli's surprising reign. So yeah, Inter now have stepped into the Europa League territory, which is pretty annoying. Continue their, I want to say, 5-win streak. I'm not too sure. Let me double check that. Yeah, 4-win streak. Yep. And they do have Bayern up next, but Juventus the week after. If there is ever a time for Juventus to step up and become Juventus again, it's that game against Inter. Because I don't want Inter to build momentum going into the World Cup and then come out, and I would absolutely love to see them finish fifth. That's probably not going to happen.
What if
But
Juventus
yeah,
beats Inter with a Rabiot screamer?
okay, I'll tell you what. If Juventus beats Inter with the Rabiot screamer, I'll come out and you know what? I will message Rabiot on every social media. I even sent an email to his agent apologizing to him if he scores the winning goal against Inter. And you can quote me on that. Okay. Juventus did win 1-0 against Lecce after a very cool, crazy game against Benfica. That game was one for the books. It finished 4-3 in the Champions League. By the way, don't forget we do need to talk about the Champions League because that was very interesting. But yeah, I guess that'll be all for Italy. Oh, I
Let's
do
talk
want to
about the
mention
Champions
that
League now then,
Roma.
just because I think we're sort of running short on time. There's a few things me and Josh want to bring up
And
after the
insane.
Champions League.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, if we fly over to a drone that hovers over all of Europe, and we are currently entering the drone, entering, and I'm still just looking for the table just real quick. So we're still entering. We haven't entered just yet. We're about to enter. Okay, we have entered. Okay, we're gonna kick it off. I really enjoyed. Okay, look, I like Barca. I wanted to see them fail because I'm no listen. I don't like it when a club just buys the world, right? And Barca just bought the world with money that they don't have. So I'm happy that nothing worked out for them. I'm happy they crashed out. I enjoyed. I don't watch Inter games because have a life. So I enjoyed having the notifications on my screen of like the score 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Just watching the life get sucked out of Barca, see them just drop down to the Europa League, and then to see them lose to Bayern, that was a good day. What do you guys think?
I think you're right. A club to completely be bankrupt beyond belief like them, and for them to keep finding ways to just borrow money and buy all of these players and see them fail. It is good. It is a justice to football because no football club should be run like that. They thought that they could win everything if they just got all of these old free transfers in. They got Kessie in, obviously Lewandowski. They managed to keep De Jong. They got Koundé from under Chelsea's nose. Even Rafinha from under Chelsea's nose. You look at that team on paper, you're like, yeah, challenging for the league, which they are, and definitely through to the next round of the Champions League, which they just haven't done. So it's good to see. I'm happy to see that as well. But yeah, Bayern, they look the real deal to me.
I'm starting to eat my words slowly but surely. Bayern looks solid. They look great. Choupo-Moting is backing goals. Okay,
Oh, I have a
Choupo-Moting.
screenshot I wanted to tell you. I wanted to call you out. You were like, things aren't looking good if Choupo-Moting is in your team. I have stats from his last.
Shout out to Choupo-Moting, you know. I know
Hold
he's
on.
watching.
Choupo-Moting. Oh, did I even screenshot it? Maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. All right. In his last 4 games, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals and 3 assists.
Oh
Yeah.
my lord.
Yeah.
We
I have
need a
to apologize
formal
to
apology.
Choupo-Moting.
Yeah.
Choupo-Moting, I know you're listening, yeah? I know you're our biggest fan. Listen, Choops. I'm sorry, bro. I
Choops.
apologize. You're doing well. You are. Am I mistaken in assuming or in remembering that he did score against Barca? Let me double check that. He did score against Barca.
So he scored against Barca.
Yeah, he did score against Barca. So, listen, yeah, big Choops. I'm sorry, bro. You're right. I'm wrong. I put too much doubt on your name, and you're proving me wrong. However, I want to see how he fares in the knockout stages because we all know if you put Troops up top in the Bundesliga. Okay, we don't all know because I said that he wouldn't even in the Bundesliga do that well, but he is doing pretty well. But I want to see how he does against big teams. I want to see how Bayern do against bigger teams because at the end of the day, Inter are not a big team; they're terrible, and Barca are not a big team; they're terrible. Okay, you look at Inter in their respective league, fifth. Okay, and Barca just Barca.
Fifth.
So like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Bad
sit here.
position. Fifth.
Yeah, fifth, bro. They won the league 2 years ago and finished second last year. They're fifth now, and they
We're
barely
only
finished
third
second
way
last
through
year.
the
Like
league.
it was
We're only a
close.
third way through the league.
I know, but I'm talking about form, right? They did not beat the best Inter. They didn't.
Yeah.
They and Barca suck. My point being, put them up against a Dortmund that played really well and they drew, right? I'm not gonna sit here and say Bayern are looking like they can go all the way because realistically, they haven't shown that they. I'm not saying that they're not looking like they can go all the way, but they haven't shown that they are a Man City type or a PSG type or even a Napoli powerhouse. They're not there yet, in my opinion. But
I agree with that. Just before we finish the
mhm.
Champions League, though, I just want to talk about
We're still
the.
going. We just started.
Oh, wait, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, Group D.
Ah,
Group D is crazy. I'm loving Group D. I okay. I'll just say this. I've become a huge fan of Sporting. I really like Sporting. I've been watching them play. I love their press. I love their style of play. I'm really, really liking watching them play, and I'm really hoping that they can beat Frankfurt and come out and make it to the knockouts because I want to see how they do in the knockouts. They're an explosive team with a lot of pace and a lot of they're just a joy to watch, man. And
it's Marcus
I've
Edwards.
noticed that
That kid, man.
he's talented. I've noticed one thing about Tottenham is they don't know how to play against teams who do the high press. When it comes to high press,
Yeah.
Conte
Yeah.
crumbles. I don't know
Axe.
what it is. I don't know why it is. United broke them. At Sporting broke them and then drew with them the time after. Like they can't beat teams with the high press. I don't know why, but yeah.
Newcastle
So
broke
Newcastle.
them.
can I just mention?
Newcastle broke them.
Can I mention a nice 4 win against Zagreb to come back after the absolute stupid injustice against Chelsea, the worst team in life? We managed to have a nice, comforting win that really reminded me that we're still losing 2-1 to Torino, so I'm going to move on very swiftly. But yeah, Benfica, 11 points. Juventus sitting in third place with 3 points. Juventus have crashed out of the Champions League and they're going to the Europa League. Look,
Rabiot.
I can sit here and talk about Rabiot till tomorrow. So let's just move on. And all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say is Rabiot.
Real Madrid lost.
But what'd you say? Real Madrid? Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't mean
they
anything.
lost.
They're qualifying, but like. Wow.
Exactly. But what does mean something is Atletico Madrid. They are
This
out.
is
They've,
that ending is one of the craziest endings I've seen in my
yeah,
life.
it was crazy. It was crazy. But this is what happens again. Atletico are another team that play terrorist football. You know, they're so like defensive and physical, and they just make you hate playing the game and watching the game. Like again, another Chelsea, but just stupidly physical. But yeah, man, the sequence in the 90th minute, where Carrasco's penalty is saved, and then his shot hits the crossbar, I believe, or there's a clearance. I can't remember which one it was,
To the
but
crossbar, yeah.
yeah, it's just man,
And then he
that's
shot,
why I
and then
love
his own player
football.
blocked it, and it went, and they were knocked out. To get knocked out like that's like a FIFA Foot Champs game, man. I felt,
Yep, and that's why I love football.
but that does mean the Europa League is going to be stacked this season. We got Barcelona,
I'm excited for the
Juve,
Europa League. I'm
Atletico,
very
United, Arsenal. You've got all these big teams. It's going to be crazy, you know.
I'm really excited to see how Club Bruges do in the knockout stages if they make it to the quarterfinals or not. But just the last thing, so first of all, Napoli haven't conceded a goal in 3 games. Secondly, they won against Sassuolo 4-0. Sassuolo are not an easy team to roll over, by the way, and they beat them 4-0. Rangers um, fell to Napoli 3-0. Um, again, man, Kvaratskhelia, wow, wow, wow. Osimhen, wow, wow, wow. Even Giovanni Simeone, what like this team, I am really excited, and I hope they have a really hard draw. Not because I don't want them to succeed, because I really want to see how they fare against a PSG or a Man City. You know what? If I had to bet on either of them, City or PSG versus Napoli, I would still bet on City or PSG. But I would love to see how it goes.
Okay.
But yeah, while you're
So
talking about Napoli, I just want to quickly mention these stats. Then we can move on to our debate, right? In the last
Yeah.
17 games they've played, 15 wins, 2 draws, no losses, 50 goals scored, and 13 conceded. These are. It's with the help of the players. Obviously, Osimhen's been there. Kim Min Jae, what a defensive signing.
Incredible
Kvaratskhelia,
signing.
shout
Kvaratskhelia,
out.
Anguissa, who's also been there for a while, but wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, Spalletti underrated. He is a great coach.
He's doing bits, man. He's doing bits.
But
He's doing bits.
Right.
that wraps up all of our weekly football roundup. Now time to move on
It's
to
time.
hot debate
We
time.
have 2 debates to bring up. The first one you will have seen on the story of the Touchliner Instagram. And we'd just like to go over a few things. So Hussein, where do you stand on the Kane versus Mbappe debate?
Okay, I want to request, guys. Okay, please, to all one of you that are watching this, please, I want your opinion in the comment section. Okay, I want it. I want it.
We've
Don't be
got
one of those guys.
we've got the results.
Okay, don't be one of those guys that just watches this and hears me say a comment and then doesn't comment. Or girls, please, I want your opinion on this. So we were talking about the best strikers in the world, and I said I don't rate Kane very much. I don't think Kane is a top 3 striker in the world. Okay, and Ben and Josh disagreed with me, and I said I put um excuse me, that I put Haaland, Lewandowski, and Benzema. No, Haaland, Benzema, and Mbappe over Harry Kane. And Josh and Ben rebutted and said that Mbappe is not as good of a striker as Harry Kane. I had some points to make, and I will remake them, but I want Ben and Josh to make their points first.
Okay, well first I'm just gonna say the results. So we had I'm
Okay.
not gonna say how many votes, but 75% voted for Mbappe, 25% voted for Kane, which proves that I'm really disappointed in our audience. You're all brain dead.
But
No, I'm kidding.
that is one thing. That is one thing we did say. We did say when we were having this debate beforehand, we said most people will probably vote for Mbappe because he is
Because I'm
more
right.
covered than Kane. People don't
No,
think
he's
about
not.
Kane, but yes, he 100% is. Over socials, over football, Mbappe is talked about way more than Harry Kane is, and there's no doubt in my mind about that.
It's because he's cool and Kane is like funny looking and he's got a funny voice and he's English, so it's like he's not likable. He's not the
That's how
cool.
we judge football now.
Look,
No, that's how we
kids,
judge who gets
see this.
more.
Kids see this and they want to be
Why is
him.
Harry Kane not up
Harry
there?
Kane.
Why is Harry Kane not up
Why
there?
would you not want to be him? He's famous. He's good at football and he's on the cover of FIFA. But look, that's just one point. Okay, Ben, you make your point. I'm gonna get some stats up.
Listen, when it comes to Harry Kane versus Mbappe, I just personally think Harry Kane is the more well-rounded striker. He assists, he scores goals. If I were to pick like my best, like if I were to pick like a striker between these two, I would pick Kane. Like it wouldn't even cross my mind twice. This crybaby like man child who
We're
plays
not
for
talking
PSG.
about
We are.
personality. I'm not
Why
talking.
why does that not
I'm
come into
saying
His
account?
work
Why does
rate
that
as
not
well, man. It affects his work rate because of how
why
spoiled
does
he
that
is.
not come into account? That has to come into account. If
I
Kane,
am.
go ahead.
Okay. Okay. First of all, Josh, if you're getting out some stats, please get up the goal to game ratios in the Champions Leagues. I want those to be noted down. Okay. Look, crybaby or not crybaby, imagine him being a crybaby. He's still scoring goal after goal after goal. I don't know how many goals a game he's averaging. Josh, if you could put up those stats, that would be great. But you're putting the fastest striker in the world right now, arguably the fastest striker in the world, who is a deadly finisher, a creative finisher. Like I'll give you an example: the offside goal that he scored against Madrid when he did that step over and moved to the left and scored like before even touching the ball. He's a creative finisher. He comes up with new ways to score to score goals. He's so quick. He's got power on his shot. He knows how to position himself. He's an aerial threat. Okay, I understand. Kane is a good passer of the ball. And if you're asking me who's a better passer of the ball, I'll tell you Kane destroys Mbappe. At the end of the day, we're not asking who's the better 10. We're asking who's the better striker, who's better at putting the ball in the net. And if you take away all the penalties and if you take away all the tap-ins, you're going to realize that Mbappe is much more beneficial to his team
What's
as
wrong
a
with tapping?
striker.
That's crazy though. That you're saying that
Why
Look
it's
at the last
why
World
are we
Cup.
taking
Look at
why
the
are we
last World
taking
Cup. Look at
yeah.
the last World Cup. Look at the Champions League final that Kane played in. Okay,
the Champions League
Kane
final
is
Mbappe played in.
okay. Look at the World Cup final Mbappe played in.
Okay,
What final has
in
and
the
at 23,
okay,
at
okay,
23,
in
and
the so
what
that
final has Kane played in where he scored
that
a goal?
World Cup final was the best international team in the tournament, France, against an underdog Croatia team with an aging squad. Of course they're
So it
gonna
doesn't
win.
matter that he scored a goal.
No,
Oh,
okay.
I'm not talking about winning. He scored a goal in the World Cup final. Oh, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. It doesn't matter what you're gonna tell me. Croatia sucks. First of all, Croatia didn't suck. They took England out of the World Cup. Let me ask you a question. How did Kane do against Croatia? Did he take them over the victory line? No, he didn't. But did Mbappe help take France over the victory line? Yes, he did. Did he score a goal in the Champions League in the World Cup final? Yes, he did. Is he a serial prolific scorer? Yes, he is. Is Kane? Yes. Is he a prolific scorer in big competitions? No.
Okay,
Is
now
that a
you
fact? You tell me.
now you can make the argument both ways. Mbappe has gone missing at the most crucial times for PSG. You can say that, right? Champions League final 2020. We watched that game today, saying PSG could have been
Yeah.
1-0 up if Mbappe knew tap-ins. So you say take away tap-ins.
So the
For
tapping
as a
argument
striker,
really
I think tap-ins is one of the most important attributes to have because that means being at the right place at the right time, positioning your body the split second just to get the ball into the net, which Mbappe didn't do. He aimed it straight at Neuer. I remember that chance, and I was
He
thinking,
was
I was like,
21 years old.
okay, whatever. We can bring up last season's Champions League against Real Madrid. Yes, he scored a couple, but he was offside, and he didn't create any more chances for himself. Benzema took them apart, and they got knocked out. Right? It really showed the gulf in players, and it shows, by the way, Benzema is a similar ilk to Kane in that they are more complete strikers. They are both-footed. They know how to pass. They know how to head. They are stronger, and that's the kind of striker that can last. And that's why Benzema is 34, 35. He's just won the Ballon d'Or. And Mbappe's career is done at 30 because his knees are gonna go, or his hamstrings, and you can note that
he'll
down.
become Wayne Rooney. He'll become Wayne
And
Rooney.
If he's
but
So
lucky,
Benzema
if he's lucky, he will become Wayne Rooney.
Benzema does something. Benzema does something that Kane doesn't know how to do, and that's put the team on his back. Kane does not know how to put a team on his back. He does not know how to carry a team to victory. He doesn't know how to be that person that says, you know what, I'm going to be the reason that we come back and do well. Let me give you an example. Champions League semi-final.
He
What
was
happened?
injured. He was
Kane.
injured. He was injured.
Okay, but who? But when he was gone, okay. I have a good point. When Kane was gone, Lucas Moura steps up, puts them from here to here in the Champions League final. Yeah. If Benzema didn't play against PSG, I can almost say wallah, like 99%, 0.9%, that I could say wallah that Real Madrid would not, maybe not have even scored one goal.
Listen, take Benzema out of the conversation. It's not even it's literally not even relevant to what we're talking about. We're talking about who is better at putting the ball in the net as a striker. Okay, and for me, it's Harry Kane. Like, I don't
So
honestly,
how
I
come?
don't,
So how come now? So how come now is we're talking about who's putting the ball in the net as a striker, but 2 minutes ago you were talking about how Kane's a better passer of the ball.
because you decided to try and take away tap-ins. You just thought those goals don't count for some reason. That they just don't exist. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You think because Mbappe can skill three people and tap it in past a French keeper that no one's ever heard of, that makes his goal more valuable than Harry Kane's goals? When Harry
World Cup
Kane's in
final.
the right place at the right time. You keep saying that. How long do we think that lasts? I don't think he, like Josh said, I don't think he makes it past 30.
If we're talking about ratios, right? Harry Kane, they're both Champions League, right? Harry Kane has got 21 goals and 29, right? Mbappe has got 39 and
He has way
58.
more games. Yeah.
It's how can you say you said Mbappe's goal per game was better? It's not. It's
I
about.
thought it was.
It's not. I
Mbappe
will.
has way more
I
games.
thought it was.
He has more than double the games that Harry Kane has, if I'm not correct.
Okay, okay. I want to ask you guys a question. And before you answer, because you did answer this yesterday, but before you answer again, I want you to actually think about what I'm saying. Okay. Can you really tell me? I'm gonna ask you two questions. If Mbappe were to go to another team, i.e., let's say Madrid, would he do well or would he do bad? And now, secondly, could you really tell me that if Kane went to like Man United, he would be the Harry Kane that's playing for Spurs right now?
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
he'd
have the
be
answer.
answers to
I'll
these
answer
better.
questions.
first. I think if Harry Kane left Spurs, he would become the greatest striker the Premier League has ever seen. He is being held back at Spurs. He's being restricted at Spurs. And I will say, if Mbappe left PSG, I think he would do very well at Real Madrid. But we also have to remember, how good would Kane play if he was playing with Neymar, if he was playing with Messi? Mbappe is playing with the two of the best players in the world on either side of him. We have to take this into consideration when it comes to goals because they're being created for him.
It's true. It's true. He's always
You guys are sleeping on Son heavy, by the way.
no.
No, Son is underrated.
Son is very
Underrated.
good, but it's not. Look at
It's not
PSG.
Messi.
At PSG, he had Neymar and Di Maria. Although he did falter out near the end, Di Maria, and he recently got replaced by Messi. That's crazy to have that front three. At Spurs, you had Son and Kane, yes, but can you name me who's been on the right wing? Sometimes it's Lucas, sometimes it's
Lucas
Kulusevski,
Moura, yeah.
sometimes it's who?
Richarlison?
Who is it? Honestly, the Spurs cannot be compared to PSG in this sense. Son is good, but he's holding his career back at Spurs.
Time will only tell
I'm
when it comes to.
disappointed. I'm disappointed that Kane and Son have wasted their careers there. But Kane's got a chance this summer to join us, bring us back to the top. All right, but I would rather have Kane than Mbappe in my
Okay.
team, and I think Ben would agree.
I'll say this right now, and I'm recording myself on my phone, because I want this to be saved, and I want us to have something to refer back to. I'm gonna speak to my phone camera, so I'm not looking at you guys. Harry Kane. Should Harry Kane move to Manchester United over the summer, Harry Kane will have a hard time adjusting. He's going to struggle. Now, you ask me why. You ask me why. Okay, someone ask me why.
Why?
Why?
Okay, the reason being, the reason being is because right now Harry Kane is in a system first of all, that adheres to him. Secondly, that is slower and less of a pressing team. 5 at the back football where he can pick up the ball in the midfield. He could do as he wishes. He could be a passer of the ball. He could do all of that stuff that he's so good at. Then he's going to move to Ten Hag's United, where they play a high press, where they play really fast passes, where they make runs. Remember, Kane is not a fast striker. And you're seeing how slow strikers do, because Ronaldo is not doing too well with with United right now, and he's become a slow striker that doesn't press, that can't get involved in the fast passing. I'm not saying that Kane is as poor as Ronaldo this season. Absolutely not. Kane is very good, but he's not going to be playing in a system that's built solely for him, and that is why Kane is going to struggle playing for Manchester United should he move there or any other
It
team.
it's
Thank you.
like it's not like a crazy point that he's saying. Like I don't necessarily disagree that it's going to be a very different system to what he plays at Spurs. But what I will say is one thing that I know with the world class players is that if they are truly world class, they will be able to adjust to a different manager. I think that if Harry Kane moves to Manchester United, he breaks Shearer's record. It's only on average 3 decent seasons, give or take, and I think he has that in him for sure. He breaks Shearer's record. I think that you look. You know what? Always, like I always think about is that these seasons that Mbappe has in this bummy, nobody French farmer league that half the teams are made with the managers. They have part-time jobs on the side being bartenders down the road. They don't make enough money managing the club. They are
Incorrect statement.
playing
Continue.
against Sunday league teams. No. But I will tell you this. I think 17. I'm gonna say
They won the
I'm
league
gonna say
2 seasons
on
ago.
average, on average, 15 to 16 of those teams in that bummy farmers league taking out the top 5. I think Nottingham Forest beats most of them. To put that into perspective for you. I think Nottingham Forest, the worst team in the Premier League, beats all of them.
Thank you for telling. Okay, I want to thank you for telling me what you think about Nottingham Forest playing against 15 teams that you have literally not barely seen, never seen play.
It's to
I
put into
appreciate that.
perspective. No, but it's to put into perspective for you the level
But
between
what
the
are you
Premier League
putting? You're
and
not. You're
the
not
level between
describing a level.
shush. The level between the Premier League and the French League. How easy it is to score goals in the French League compared to scoring goals in the Premier League. Yeah, you might say take out tap-ins. It doesn't matter. He's scoring goals in the hardest league in the world. If Mbappe came into the Premier League, I guarantee you he halves his best season. If that, he gets 15 to 20 goals maximum per season. He
Okay,
would not be able to play
I
in the best league in the world.
I don't think you're in the place where you could talk about Nottingham Forest beating 15 of the 20
Well, Josh, what do you
teams in
think?
League One. Josh, wait, hold on. You have never, not barely, you have never seen a League One game that PSG wasn't, even maybe a League One game that PSG wasn't. So how can you sit here and say Nottingham beats any? You know what you're doing? You're listening to what the 12-year-old TikTok Premier League fans say about the League One. Look, I'm not. I'm gonna tell you right now, League One is not a very competitive league. It's not a very high level league. But Nottingham Forest, come on. First of all, have some respect for League One.
Who just beat
Secondly,
Liverpool, to be clear.
understand. Okay, yeah, lost 4-0, 5-0 to Arsenal. You're
The best team in the league, second best team in the league.
if you've never seen a League One team play in the League One,
How do you
you
know I've
cannot
never
sit
seen the
there and
League One?
say,
How do you know
okay,
that?
have you ever? Have you ever?
I have. I don't remember what team it
When?
was, but I've seen the game.
Okay,
You're
when
gonna
was
tell
it?
you're gonna tell me categorically I haven't?
I'm asking you when it was, when it happened, because I know you haven't. But continue. Tell me
Let's
when.
say a year and a half
What
ago,
parameter of
something
time?
like that.
Because I know you.
Okay,
I know.
okay.
It was the
Okay,
team.
you're
It
Guys,
was.
asking.
You know what it
What's
was?
here?
You know what it was? It was
guys.
the team. It was the team. With sort
Yeah.
of a pentagon shape badge. That's what I know. I don't even know its name.
Lil.
It was Lille. I watched Lille versus some
Okay. Okay. So
Saint something.
so
That's what I
first of
watched.
all,
Anything to
okay.
say?
First of all, That team, Lille, a year and a half ago. Yes, anything. I have anything to say if you let me speak. First of all, Lille, a year and a half ago, when you so-called watched that game, won the league that year. Okay, so the bummy farmer bartender manager team actually won the league ahead of PSG that year. First of all, secondly, you haven't watched any games this season, have you? No.
Hossein,
So how are you gonna sit here
let
and
me
talk
end
about
this
this
conversation for
season?
you. Let me end this
As
conversation for
closing
you really
statements.
quickly.
Closing statements.
Let me end this conversation for you really quickly. Do you think that if Mbappe comes to the Premier League, he keeps the same amount of goals, or he plays at the same level? Because that's what the idea of that analogy was for you.
No, because he's gonna get injured. Not because he's not good enough. Not because he's not good enough. He will get kicked and kicked and kicked until his legs are gone, and he's not gonna do well. He's not even gonna last 2 seasons in the Premier League. But it's not because of his skill levels, because of his play style. No centre back in the Premier League has the time and patience for a striker as fast as Mbappe.
Okay.
So yeah, he's gonna get his shins kicked in, and he's gonna stop playing in the Premier League. And if he comes in, he'll be run out of it. I'll be real. He won't thrive in the Premier League.
All right, fair enough. My final statement is I agree. He will get injured. He will not thrive in the Premier League. He might do all right, but he's not going to replicate the same form. But if, as a team, I want to build a team, I will probably pick Harry Kane up front in front of Mbappe. That's my point.
Please,
Hussein,
comments, please.
What happened in the Euros?
That's true, actually, Hussein. I forgot about this. How did Mbappe play in the Euros?
If
He's
my
21 years old,
if my
22 years old.
recollection comes back,
What? Stop bringing
I
his age
remember
into it. We're talking about how good he is.
I remember Hussein slating Mbappe.
The penalty miss, the performance in that Switzerland game.
I was terrible performance. Terrible performance. I won't disagree with you.
Yes, and that's the thing. Yeah, he
But-
did well. He did
okay,
well. That's the
but
thing.
he's been-
Listen, he did well in that
He's
World
been in
Cup.
two pivotal.
He did well in that World Cup because he had no pressure on him. The Euros was his first world stage tournament where he had pressure on him and he folded. And it seems like it's a recurring theme, and we're yet to be proven right or wrong because there's a tournament coming up now. Now he's either gonna do well or he's gonna flop. So we will see. That's all I can say.
Yeah, time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah,
But
that's
good
the end of that
conversation.
debate.
Good
Yeah, that's the end
debate.
of that debate.
I'll
But
give it out in the comments.
there is one more. I will mediate this, right? Ben came up with
Okay.
this yesterday. So this a quick
just-
one to end the episode before your
I
voice
came up-
goes, Hussein.
Just to
Okay.
be clear, I came up with this, and I asked. We were on PS4, and we were having a civil conversation. You know, we're having a good time. I asked Josh. I said, "Josh, just out of interest, who do you think wins in a game right now? Newcastle or AC Milan?" And I said Newcastle. Hussein, would you like to drop your opinion?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you, right now?
Nah, I actually
right
wouldn't,
now.
bro.
Right now, like if they were to play like tomorrow, who's winning?
Right now, like if they played tomorrow,
Yeah.
Milan, don't be stupid.
Interesting. Josh, would you like to give your opinion?
What
by
I
any
said,
chance?
what I said when Ben said that was, I think obviously Milan have more threat. They have Leao, who's one of the best attackers in the world. They've got a target man in Giroud. They've got Castellare and Brahim Diaz and Tonali. All these good players, but I don't know how you would break down Newcastle's defense. That's what I said. I said Newcastle could grind out a 0-0 or a 1-0 against you. That's what I said. He's just frozen.
Doesn't seem like he has much to say.
Oh, he's back?
Oh, you lagged out the last like
Okay.
10
Oh,
seconds.
you're back. You're back.
Okay, well,
It's okay.
I basically said that Newcastle, I don't know how you'd break down their defense. They'll probably grind out a 0-0 or a 1-0.
We break down their defense like we break down any other team's defense. We send the ball to Leao and let him do his thing. I don't think, as good as Kieran Trippier is, as good as of a free kick taker as he is, I don't think he has speed to stop Leao.
Oh.
He's gone.
Hussein, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, you're back.
got
Okay,
Can you hear-
Trippier, free kick
Okay.
taker, what?
Well, as good of a free kick taker as he is, as good of a defender as he is, he absolutely does not have the speed to keep up with Leao. Everything in our team flows through Leao. So if you're telling me that our game, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our game between us and Newcastle is going to depend on Leao versus Trippier, I'm loving my chances because I think Leao would blow past Trippier time and time again, send the ball into Giroud, or even take it all the way himself. And if we're comparing head-to-head players, right?
Mm.
Look, I'll tell you, Bruno Guimaraes is a very, 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 very good player, very talented. However, if you're putting him in front of Tonali and Ben Nasser, he's not. He comes short. I'm sorry, but he does. Okay, especially against Tonali. Tonali is an incredible DM. Incredible DM. He's showing signs of Pirlo and Gattuso put together already, and he's so young. Okay, where I will tell you that you do have probably the upper hand is in your number 10 role. Almiron is doing better than both of our tens at the moment, and that's a big statement because Brahim Diaz is on very good form, discounting the last game. Look, at the end of
And
the
we are
day,
saying this is
like I
teams
said, it
now,
all
by the way.
flows through our left side, your right side. Kieran Trippier has to come up against. Sorry,
I was just saying this is the teams, the team sheets up to date, like right now,
I
like
can't
who's
hear
playing.
anything. Moving on. Like I said, everything is gonna flow through Liao, and if it's Liao versus Trippier, oh,
Well,
we're chilling. We're
let's,
chilling.
Josh, you actually just brought something up while Hussein was gone. Would you like to explain what happened to Marcus Rashford and where he ended up landing inside the Manchester United,
Marcus Rashford
which I
is no
think was
Liao.
inside Trippier's pocket, if
Rashford
I'm not mistaken.
came off the bench and we had to move him to a different position, and he locked Sancho, Trippier. Thing is with Trippier, right? Is and also one thing you're forgetting is the way that Newcastle defend. Is when you have the ball, they will get back into that shape very quickly, which it's very difficult to break down because in the middle you have Botman and you have Cher. And Trippier is also a very good attacking outlet, but unlike Theo Hernandez, he can actually come back and defend really well. Like his statistics show that he is one of the best right backs in the Premier League right now. But yeah. Closing statements, guys.
I think he's gone again.
Closing statements, closing statements.
Uh, I think it's
No, you lag and some.
okay. I think closing statements is needed. I'm gonna start off by saying it's been a great podcast. I've enjoyed it very much. Um, battle it out. Who you think would win right now? Newcastle with the best defensive record in the league, better than Man City. With all of our team in form right now, with injuries, the best we've ever performed against AC Milan, also in very good form right now. I personally would say Newcastle. I don't think they score past us. Um, but what do you? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'll say.
Yeah. I think it could be a draw. I think a 0-0 is quite realistic. I mean Milan struggled to score today, so it's a good example. But yeah, we're just gonna end the podcast here. It's been so tough. Hussein's left every 5 minutes. I'm gonna have to edit this. Sorry guys for any audio or video issues. I'm trying my best. We need to sort out Hussein's internet. But thanks so much for listening. We're back next week. I don't know if we'll have a guest, but we will see. Like, subscribe, follow us, Spotify, download it, and thanks for listening, guys. In a bit.